Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy. If you are new here, thanks so much for joining us. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back. Let's just jump in. Today we're going to do a 36-week pregnancy update. We're going to talk about what the baby's doing, where he's at developmentally, where I'm at as far as symptoms and mental and emotional health, and what our plan is for birth. So if you're interested to find out all that information, just keep watching. Okay, so for those of you that have not seen my previous pregnancy updates, one, there's a playlist, you can go check it out. And two, I use the What to Expect app for most of this just kind of like fun anecdotal data. So if you want to use an app, What to Expect app is good. I also have the, let me just check and see which one it is. I also have the Baby Center app, and it does similar information. I just kind of like the layout, format, and presentation of the What to Expect app better. So, according to my handy dandy app, this week, little baby boy is the size of a bunch of kale. I don't know how big a bunch of kale is because I don't buy kale, but he's the size of a bunch of kale. Or if you have other children or you just like Disney, he's the size of a Buzz Lightyear action figure, like a real life one if you bought it in stores. He's also about the size of a Tickle Me Elmo doll, but I hated Tickle Me Elmo, so yeah, Buzz Lightyear. He's a Buzz Lightyear. He is probably about around 6 pounds, between, where'd my brain go? 18 and 19 inches long. That's of course an average. I've never had a baby that exceeded the 19-inch range, so he's probably closer to the 18-inch mark right now. But he's got 4 weeks to go, technically speaking, so he could grow a little, or maybe he's done growing. We just don't know. We will see him soon though, so we'll find out. So developmentally, all systems are go for him, as much as they will be for a baby at any rate. So if he were born now, he's good to go. Everything's functioning, like he's fine, he'll be fine. He's just basically practicing, like his circulation is great and everything. He practices swallowing, he practices peeing, he does all that stuff. His digestion is still catching up, but it won't actually even be fully developed no matter when he's born, because their digestion continues to develop and kind of fine-tune through the first year or two of life. So other than that, he's just kind of hanging out, practicing, getting a little fat on his little baby body and getting ready to come out. So that's basically all we have for this little guy. Let's talk about me. If you saw my last video at my 35-week update, I was talking about anxiety and panic attacks. I had a real rough couple of weeks, and because we've moved and because of birth plans that we'd had and then kind of changed and all this other stuff, anyway, it ended up leading to me not having a doctor. So I was calling around, I was trying to find somebody to help me to get just either some anxiety meds or maybe get my blood work drawn or whatever, and it was a whole thing. There's a whole video, you can go watch it. But the bottom line is, it sucked. It was miserable. So basically I just ended up calling around and found that basically nobody would see me, but my options for birth at the hospital were to go into the emergency room when I was in labor, and they would transfer me up to labor and delivery. Thankfully, my anxiety is much improved. After some med adjustment with my thyroid meds and figuring out that I was over-medicated for my thyroid, I backed off those, and I feel really good now, mentally, physically, emotionally. The symptoms of the anxiety and the panic attacks and just all of that, like physiological, psychological manifestation of symptoms has gone, which is amazing because I've been sleeping better. I haven't been having, you know, panic attacks, which suck. And I just, like, I feel overall just more confident in my judgment and my ability to be pregnant and birth baby. Not that that was ever going to change whether or not I was comfortable with it, but now I'm comfortable with it. So that's yay. Other symptoms that I have been having, round ligament pain. So that's still a thing. It gets a little bit more like intense. It happens more often now, but I started doing what is called a forward inversion. So if you're familiar with or not familiar with like spinning babies techniques, there is a website, it's spinningbabies.com. You can go there and they will help you with techniques to like get your baby in optimal birthing position. So just different stretches and poses and things that you can do to help get baby in a good position, alleviate pain and things like that. So the point of a forward inversion is to kind of like release ligaments that might be twisted or tweaked in the wrong position, and also to help the baby flip if he's not head down. He's head down, so that's not an issue, but like I feel like with my ligament, like he just was kind of constricted and it was painful. So I started doing those this past weekend, and I noticed a really big difference. He's already, like I said, in a good position, but it helps to just like give him more room, and I feel like it just allows my uterus to kind of come up and like untweak so that it can be in a good position. The basics of the maneuver are you sit on your knees and then you bend down off of a chair or something onto the floor and let your belly hang down. It's a thing. I'm not going to do it for you. Sorry. You're welcome. But yeah, it's been really helpful. So I do those daily, and that has been fantastic. For sleep and energy, I feel like for 36 weeks pregnant, I'm doing pretty good. I am, of course, tired. We had this past weekend a ladies retreat for our church, and it was wonderful. Like the fellowship and the time to just be me, not be mom, not be wife, not be on, you know what I mean? That was all fantastic. It was a great recharge and I loved it. I did not make good choices the whole time. I didn't go to bed until 2 a.m. the first night. I went to bed a little earlier the next night because I had a migraine from not going to bed and then getting up super early. And then I was up again until 2 a.m. the next night. So yeah, I feel like being a little old, a little crusty, and a lot pregnant. It's gonna take me a minute to recover from that. I am feeling better now than I did, you know, at the beginning of the week, but I'm still super tired. And yeah, so my energy maybe has been a little lower, but I feel like overall it's not bad. Considering I have 4 kids and I'm 36 weeks pregnant, I think I'm holding my own okay. It's been what it is. So, other than that, my phone is going off, I'm sorry. Everybody wants to talk to me. Other than that, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. We are ready to go for baby. We got our final things that we were wanting to buy. I have all of my postpartum supplies, like pads, overnight stuff, nursing pads, diapers, wipes, you name it. We've got the baby's bed and like his little nesting. It's not a DockATot because I'm cheap, and I found one that actually had really good reviews that people compared to a DockATot, but it's similar, and that's going to be up here between our pillows so that he can co-sleep with us and kind of have a little spot. We also have this little bassinet that you can see back here, and that will probably be in like the living room just because I want him to have a safe place to lay, because my kids will sit on him if I leave him sitting on the couch, and I have cats and I don't want them sitting on his face because some of my cats are buttholes. Anyway, so he has that bassinet. It's portable. It totally folds down. We can use it where we want to. We have a recliner. We got a recliner I had mentioned in a previous video that's set up in the living room so that Tim has a place to sit and rock him. And so yeah, I mean, we're basically ready to go. So that leaves our birth plan. Like, what are we gonna do? So here's the dilemma. Because I do not have a regular OB assigned to my care, my option is to show up at the hospital and go in through the ER. Or to birth at home. Now, I've had home births before, and that's where we were heading in the first place. And then with my anxiety ramping, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I was not in a good headspace a few weeks ago, and that's when we discovered we'd have to go to the ER if we wanted to transfer to hospital birth. That was still going to be the plan, but in light of this whole COVID-19 infection and pandemic, we have started kind of rethinking our plans. So there have been the 2 hospitals that are close to me are very, very good hospitals. They've had cases of COVID, active infections. Our community is actively infected now. Both the city where I live and the neighboring city where we actually attend church have active and spreading cases of COVID. So while I'm not concerned about like getting coronavirus, because I do think that it's really mild, especially for everybody in my family. We're all very low risk. But if anybody's going to get symptoms that make them even the slightest bit miserable, it's going to be Tim or I. And I don't want to go in have a baby, and then come home and be sick. Like, that just sounds awful. Also, the hospitals have limited visitors to one person, and it's not interchangeable. So if Tim takes me to give birth, Tim is the only person allowed to see me until we come home, which I totally get and I'm totally for. Like, containment is important. It is important, even though I'm not at high risk, to protect the people in my community that are, by not spreading. But that means that we have to find somebody to watch our kids, probably, you know, potentially, depending on when we have him, for an extended period, to take care of them, because Tim is the only person that would be allowed to bring me anything or to come in to take me home or any of that stuff, and I just don't know how long we would be there. So we're leaning, I think, towards doing, going back to the home birth plan. We have everything that we need. Like, I've had, you know, all of my prenatal care, the baby's fine, I've done this twice, I know how to do it, so I'm not worried about that. I still don't know what the definitive plan is, but I feel like the socially and morally responsible thing to do is to not expose my family to a potential COVID infection, and to not use hospital facilities when I don't need them. So that may be where we're headed. We have been fortunate so far in that we're not necessarily having a giant run on supplies yet. I've only been buying what we need. We're not stockpiling. We're just like, you know, I did double the grocery order for today because I do grocery pickup or grocery delivery, one of the two, because I'm 36 weeks pregnant and I have 4 kids. So we've been doing that anyway, but now it just seems kind of like a really good idea. And so I did double our grocery order from what I usually get. I usually shop 1 week at a time. I shopped for basically 2 weeks, and then we'll just shift things around in the budget for funds and stuff, and I will, next week, I'll do another order, just probably for a week, just so that we're kind of a week, 2 weeks ahead, and have stuff in case we need to self-quarantine, or in case there's any mandated quarantines or shutdowns. Our church has already elected to not do in-person services this weekend. We do a live stream anyway, and so they'll just continue with the live stream, and everybody's being encouraged to watch that, but we're trying not to spread it because it's the Christian thing to do. So yeah, just in light of the virus and everything going around and the risk to people that we know and love and care for, that kind of changes my birth plan a little bit. And I actually have less apprehension about giving birth at home than I do going to a hospital, which has kind of been the case anyway, which is why I've gone, you know, home birth the last 2 babies. My first 2 were hospital births, and please understand me, they were wonderful. Well, I have no issue with hospital births. Like, I can't complain. I think that it is wonderful that you give birth to your baby where you feel most comfortable giving birth to your baby, and for us, I think that's probably going to be at home, which actually makes the planning and preparation and logistics a lot easier. We have a home birth kit from Vital Records to do everything that we need to do, so yeah, we'll be good. I guess that just leaves then this week for our update, a belly shot. So without further ado, I will show this little boy to you, and hopefully within the next several weeks we will get to see him in person. So anyway, here is my baby bump. So this is baby at 36 weeks. People have told me that he looks like he's dropped. I don't feel like he's dropped. I still can't breathe, and I'm not having a lot of like pelvic pain, but I mean, I guess he does look a little bit lower than what he has been previously, but yeah, that's where we're at. This is he. I cannot wait to meet him. That is everything for this week. I hope that you enjoyed my update. I found it maybe slightly entertaining and useful. If so, subscribe and you won't miss any of my future updates. And we will be back next week to share with you how we're doing at 37 weeks and anything that has changed. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye.